Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having us, Elaine. And I think this is a great conversation to have, especially at the beginning of the year. And just for a little background, it's like I started out as a struggling stylist, had to go back into the work world and get a 9-to-5 job, and went on to become a really busy stylist who needed to hire an assistant, and had a real revolving door around that process. It was not cute, was not fun. And from there, went on to build a Salon and Day Spa that had about 20 employees, team members, and grossed over $500,000. And that was back in the late 90s. And so a lot of the stylists and owners that I meet with now are not doing six figures, or they may be doing that, but they're not at the 200, or, if we look at it monthly, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, which is, very doable. If I could do it 20 years ago, you guys can definitely do it today. The prices are changed and everything else. So I think most important, I think three key areas. So one is the business setup and basics as far as that. Another one is boundaries, and another one is leadership. So I'll just go through a couple bullet points for each area. So one, setting and keeping business hours, I think is something that feels counterintuitive, especially when you're starting. It's like, oh, I'll just go in when someone calls, or when they need me, or if they want me to come early, or if they want me to stay late, all of those type of things. It's counterintuitive, but you'll build much faster setting and keeping your hours. And then the business phone. It's like there's so many things I see online with text messages and confusion, and really doing consultations by text. So a business phone with the business hours, and limit the text, get them in the salon, free consultation, paid consultation, whatever it is, get them in there. I've recently gotten access to small business funding, and one of the things that I'm seeing is that a lot of people don't have a business bank account. And it's super simple. So if you guys have got a pencil, this might be a good time, but it's like all you need to do to get a business bank account is to get an EIN number, which you can call the IRS, and it's a matter of minutes, and you'll have that piece set up. And there may be something from your state, county, or city that you might have to get in order, but you can check with your bank and find out what they need for you to open a business bank account. And it literally is super simple. The EIN is free. Whatever your state or city, county may charge is probably going to be minimal, maybe $25 or ballpark in that area, depending on where you are, of course. But it makes you have the ability to scale and the ability to get funding and those types of things much easier. It's like we can do it with personal accounts, but it is much better for you in so many ways with scaling, because as you scale, one of the things that we considered is the IRS is going to be looking at you much more closely. And so to have everything in order is really key. And I know, we've got Corey, I don't think he's here today, but it's like consult with an accountant, get with Corey, and see what you need to do on those fronts. Knowing your numbers is another thing that's key, like not only like the big overall picture, but just a couple key numbers. You don't have to become an accountant, but how many of you guys know what you made last month? Do you know what services were your top services? Those types of things are the things that will allow you to grow and scale, because you can take what you're doing well and expand it, and you can look at what's not working. It's like, do we need to eliminate it, or do we need to, do something to shore it up? And so getting into the boundaries, learning how to say no. I just did a whole article on that. If you can't say no to anybody or anything, then you're going to not have enough time to focus on actually growing the business that you want to grow. And the fifth thing is under leadership, which is really learning how to hire, which I really had some knocks in that area. So I help people with that. And then leading is a whole nother conversation. It's like learning to become a leader. And so many of us, we start at our home or start because we have talent, but it's like we don't know all of these pieces and how to put them all together to be able to scale and grow our business. And so I think that's pretty much it. But what I would say to end this is just make sure that you're making time to work on your business, not just in it. And raise your prices. Because that will a lot of times free your time if you can raise your prices. And it's like, and a lot of times we can't grow and scale because we're exhausted and we haven't said no, and we haven't raised our prices, and we're scared we're going to lose what we do have, which keeps us from being able to get to that next level of what we really want.